stuff.
And the Oscar goes to Brad Pitt.
Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a film packed with memorable scenes.
Line?
But if one were asked to pick out the sequence with the most tension, many would choose the scene when Cliff Booth arrives at Spawn Ranch and takes a long walk through suspicious territory. All he wants to do is to make sure his friend George is safe.
Well, is there anything wrong with me saying hello to an old friend?
But Cliff Booth just might be stepping into a trap. Tarantino used many directing techniques to craft this tension, and we'll highlight them in this episode of The Director's Playbook. The suspense in this sequence is relatively light on dialogue.
Come on.
And heavy on visual storytelling. POV, screen direction, framing, camera angles.
Came a long ways. Don't know when I'll get back this way again.
And sound design. If you're planning a scene with elaborate blocking and staging, it's helpful to use a storyboard to map it out. We're going to use Studio Binder to map out highlights of the Spawn Ranch scene.
Ready when you are.
Let's take a stroll with Cliff Booth. To keep the audience in step with Cliff, Tarantino uses POV throughout the sequence. This POV shot establishes the house as his goal through its dead center framing. He is suspicious from the very start, and we are meant to share this suspicion. The stretch of dusty land provides the perfect opportunity to slow things down with a long walk up to the house. Something's off about this situation.
Come on.
Cliff's first steps towards the house are framed in an extreme wide shot, making him smaller and vulnerable out in the open. Screen direction has a strong effect on an audience member's subconscious. And in this section, the camera jumps across the 180-degree line, changing the screen direction, keeping us ever so slightly disoriented.
Where the hell is everybody? Hey, where's Gypsy?
She's down by the chop shop.
And thank you for giving our precious pussy a ride home.
Think nothing of it.
We love pussy.
Yes, we do.
After some pleasant conversation with a couple of new characters,
Come over here and say hi to Cliff.
Howdy, Cliff. Tex? What part of Texas you from?
Place you never heard of. Cokeville.
Cliff attempts to resume his trek to the house.
Hey, does George Spawn still own this ranch?
Tarantino features the house in the background, center framed to keep our goal in mind. The house is also included in the reverse on the Manson girls. In these matching profile shots, their defensive alignment visually communicates their opposition to Cliff's goal.
Does he still live right there?
Yeah.
As the conversation becomes more of a confrontation,
Well, is there anything wrong with me saying hello to an old friend?
You can't see him right now.
Tarantino changes up the shots. Instead of profile views, we see our opposed characters head-on. The shift is dramatic and inherently more aggressive. All of the empty space behind Cliff is now filled by a large bus and more Manson followers who box him in. His reluctant hosts fill in the bottom half of the frame, slowly swarming like zombies. Cliff finally makes it to the front porch.
You the mama bear?
Can I help you?
I hope so. I'm an old friend of George's. Thought I'd stop and say hello.
Well, that's very nice of you, but unfortunately you picked the wrong time. George is taking a nap right now.
But then a short interrogation begins,
What's your name?
Cliff Booth.
and once again Tarantino marks this shift in tone. We jump to tighter Dutch angles, which accelerates the tension even further.
How do you know George?
I used to shoot westerns here at the ranch.
When was the last time you saw George?
Oh, I'd say about 8 years ago.
Oh. I'm sorry, I didn't realize the two of you were so close. But when he wakes up, I'll let him know you came by.
Look, Red, I'm coming in there. With my own two eyes, I'm gonna get a good look at George. And this ain't stopping me.
And when Squeaky snaps open the door, listen carefully to the sound design.
Okay. Suit yourself.
The environment, the wind, the television. Without a word spoken, the sound in these moments enhances the tension.
Even helps keep your skin because it has Noxema medication right in it.
We return to Cliff's point of view for slow shots that linger over the filthy interior. We may as well be in a horror movie.
Next time. And you never know. The next boy you meet may be the one. The next time.
And the captured mouse is a perfect metaphor for Cliff, walking into his own mousetrap.
The next time he looks at you may be the time he really sees you.
Squeaky changes the TV channel to a program with ominous music. Tarantino borrows this cue from the master of suspense himself, Alfred Hitchcock's Torn Curtain.
You back there?
Door at the end of the hallway.
Once Cliff enters the hall, Tarantino keeps the camera behind his back. The vast, open and bright exterior of the house has been reduced to a dark, cramped space with nowhere to run.
George, you awake?
Finally, Cliff reaches the bedroom.
George?
And despite all the evidence to the contrary,
George!
George is alive and well.
Hi, George.
Who are you?
It's Cliff Booth. Just stopped in to say hello and see how you're doing.
John Wilkes?
No, Cliff Booth.
Who's that?
I used to shoot Bounty Law here, George.
When creating suspense in your own work, a good suspense sequence isn't about what happens in the end.
What the fuck is the matter with you? First you wake me up, and now you're pretending that I didn't tell you I was fucking blind!
It's about getting there. What might happen will almost always be more interesting than what does happen.
Tarantino, you are original, you are one of a kind, and I love the ethos you gave Cliff Booth.
Tarantino threw a lot into the sequence. He used POV to keep us tied to Cliff. He broke the 180-degree rule to disorient us. He used framing and composition to keep Cliff isolated and outnumbered. He followed dialogue-heavy moments with ominous and detailed sound design. he used production design to saturate the interior with foreboding details.
The next time he looks at
All to keep us on the edge of our seats. For the complete storyboard, including shot specs, follow the link in the description. What did we miss in our breakdown of the Spawn ranch sequence? Keep the conversation going in the comments. And don't miss out on the rest of the Director's Playbook series. Watch how Coppola pulled off this iconic moment from The Godfather, or how Scorsese blocked and staged this long take in The Wolf of Wall Street. Make sure to subscribe to be kept in the loop, and we'll see you in the next one.